Oh, we love you.
Just went live.
I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM Players. It is our usual time and day, and it's actually a really nice day here in Atlanta.
It's overcast here. What's the weather there?
It's probably in the low 70s, a little overcast, but I like low 70s.
Yeah, I like very low 70s, high 60s, low 70s. Perfect.
So we are the CRM Players, and we have been apparently bringing that since then.
I I got look. He has the only way Austin could have figured that one out is by taking the AZ on Players. We just don't know what the hell it actually is that we're bringing, other than instead we got rid of an ERS and added an AZ instead.
And apparently, we must have known Austin back in 2009 because he actually said that.
Yes, he did.
So thanks, Austin, whoever you are. Anyway, it's good to be back. First and foremost, let me do two things. Let me congratulate my nephew, Dr. Michael Cameron Brown, although we call him Cameron all his life, but to the outside to the outside world, he is Dr. Michael Cameron Brown. He just graduated from, I think it's called the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, just the other day. I guess that was Tuesday. I was up there. And I have been calling him and his younger nephew Kid, because I quite honestly forget their names from time to time. And I just called them Kid. So now I guess I have to call him Dr. Kid. Is that how it goes?
Yeah. No question. That's what it is. His name is Dr. Kid.
He's officially Dr. Kid.
Dr. Kid.
So congratulations to, I'm still calling him Cameron, but he is officially Dr. Michael Cameron Brown. So congratulations.
Woo-hoo!
And it just so happened that on the 28th, which is when he graduated, 2 days before today, which would be his mother's birthday. So
wow.
This is, I think I would consider him doing his graduation an early mother's birthday gift to my sister, Mickey.
Way to go.
So the Brown family are having a pretty good week.
Yes, they
this
are.
week, and most deservedly so. So congrats to both of them. All right, that's all I had to say. Goodbye. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go to our moment of Sven.
Oh, this is so easy. Sven, you running out of things?
What is this, German?
Yeah, it's German. Straight out German.
Straight out of Bavaria?
I mean, no, it's not. It's actually not straight out of Bavaria. It's probably the one place in Germany it's not straight out of. Bavarian is southern Germany, and it's a little quirky. It's got quirky. It's not that that wouldn't be Bavarian, but Bavarian has a quirky little bit of dialect built into it.
I just wanted to say straight out of Bavaria, like it was straight out of Compton, but you know.
Right, yeah, it's not, doesn't really ring the same way.
No, I'm sure there's no crazy M called Ice Cube there either. So like,
no. Definitely.
Good evening, friends.
Yeah, that was easy, Sven. We had that in like 1 second.
I even got that one. I mean, you know, maybe he was doing that just to throw me a bone since
being kind.
Yeah.
Thank you for being kind, Sven. Made it easy on our taxed brains.
By the way, I also say congratulations to me, because this is my latest Rams new acquisition. I really like this one.
So there's the logo. And then in the middle is something, but I can't quite see what it
does. No, that's just the zipper.
That is a really interesting shape for a zipper.
It's shaped in starter. It's because I guess it's starter brand and all that stuff.
Got it.
I just like the color combinations because I'm a big, I like black and
black and blue.
Yeah, the black and blue. Even though we are not in the NFC Central or anything like that. Shout out to Christopher Gaither. Oh no, they added it. We are added almost every Thursday. Christopher, yes, we are added again.
Are, sir.
What we're at, we don't know, but we're at it. Whatever it happens to be.
My grammarian mentor.
Wow. I like that. Yeah. What was the word he hit you with last time?
I don't want to go through that again. I was embarrassed enough. I said it was accident.
Something with Desi or something.
Yeah, no, I know what it is. I just don't want to go through it again.
All right. So housekeeping. I always have that mental.
Got right though. Pause. You've been good about it.
Yeah, but I always have to think about it for whatever reason. Anyway, next week we're back at it again. I think somebody just said that. We are doing our next opening keynote watch party. This one is going to be a very important one from Knowledge 26 ServiceNow. I will be there. You will be there virtually, but we will be there doing our opening keynote thing. And look who's joining us.
Woo! This is like almost all the team. We're just missing one right now.
Yeah, Mr.
Brohammer.
John Reed, the Brohammer, has to take a pass on this one because he's got, there's like I don't know how many events are going on, but apparently there's a lot going on next week. So he's unable to join us, but luckily for us, Rebecca Wetterman, maybe Patrick, who knows, maybe not, and our in-room correspondent, Liz, I almost said Liz Lemon again. I don't know why I keep doing that. Liz Miller. Liz Miller. Now, there's a bit of a caveat because it's going to be in Vegas. I believe it's the Venetian. Terrible Wi-Fi in the Phoenix.
Yeah.
So we might not actually get her this time, but she's going to be there, and we're going to give it the old college try. So we'll see what happens.
It kind of depends on which college we're saying gives the try.
Well, I'm not thinking like community college, although there's nothing wrong with community colleges.
No, there's nothing at all wrong with
not at all.
I was just thinking of specific institutions which are pretty
well
bad.
we could say Stanford, since
we'll give the old Stanford try.
One of our buddies, Miss Sandy Lowe, let's say a shout out to them. Let's write congratulations to them.
Ryan
Lowe, who is the son of Sandy Lowe and Myron Lowe, and big brother to Cameron Lowe. This kid, I don't know how many like colleges gave him the, please come here. But I can tell you some of the ones that wanted him and admitted him like on first pass. Johns Hopkins, Yale, I think it was like a Brown was in there. Stanford was in there. So we're not talking like I don't want to disparage any school. We're talking some of the cream of the crop here. And he decided to go, actually kind of stay home and go to Stanford. So congrats to the whole Lowe family, and especially to Ryan. He had some great choices. He couldn't have gone wrong anywhere he went, but Stanford is great.
I think I would have done the same thing if I had those four choices particularly. I would have done the same thing. I would have gone to Stanford.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Northwestern was one that.
No, that's the one I went to, but I didn't have those other four as choices. I didn't apply to any of them. I don't think I would have gotten into any of them either. I got into Northwestern because I test really well. My grades were okay. They were fine, but they weren't like, if it was solely on grades, I wouldn't have gotten in. But on testing, I just killed it. SATs were super high, things like that. I always did. And they, I hate to say it, but prior to 1967, when I got in, they had a quota on Jews. And in 1967 was the first year that they didn't have the quota. Wow. So, it wasn't a rumor either. It wasn't like written into law, but it was written into the canon of Northwestern. But it was, let's say, it was very well known among the academic community, including at Northwestern. So, and then all us Jewish kids joined Students for a Democratic Society. Well, not all of us, obviously, but a lot of us did, and proceeded to tear the university up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. They probably regretted their decision.
Yeah, I did not know that was going on back then.
And well, I mean, again, it was, think about it. It was 50, almost 60 years ago, 59 years ago.
Shashi is saying the Adobe Summit was at the Venetian and had good Wi-Fi, courtesy of Deloitte.
All right, Shashi, can you arrange with Deloitte to give Wi-Fi then?
That's interesting. All right, any other congratulations?
No, I think we're covered.
All right, going back to our regularly scheduled programming, if I can only say programming. Another thing that's going to be happening at Knowledge 26. I am going to be doing a few good minutes with our buddy, and I want him to know, Colin Fleming in the ServiceNow folks. I want them to know that this is not in lieu with our annual CRM Playaz version with Colin Fleming. So I'm glad to be sitting down with him while I'm there, but let it be known, we still want him on.
Oh, actually, and another shout out. We actually do have one. It was Colin's birthday 2 days ago. So
there it is.
I don't know what number. Probably 18, right?
Probably. Maybe 19.
Yeah. He's had a full life for 19, but happy birthday, Colin.
Maybe I'll bring him something.
Not blueberry bagel.
A blueberry bagel it is.
Oh, no, it isn't.
With a candle on top.
Well, you can bring it to him. Just tell him it's not from me.
But I am looking forward to that. Now, that's next week. The week after that, I believe, another event is going on, and it's from our friends and partners, Kaltura. They are doing their Kaltura Connect on the road. I feel like we should be playing some Willie Nelson or something in the background.
Okay. Get YouTube dancing.
Yeah, right.
Immediately.
Tell us about a Kaltura Connect on the road.
Well, this is actually a really interesting set of things. For those of you who don't know, Kaltura is our partner. They're a partner, and they were a sponsor of IRL 2026, and they were actually our platform for the entire event, and potentially will be going forward for our shows. We have to still see how that's going to work. But these events are not high sales pitch focused events. They are actually thought leadership events and designed as such. And if you take a look at the agendas, you'll see they tend to be that. They're free. They're obviously local in each place you're going. And, basically anyone listening in, you're invited. So take that URL at the bottom, and I think you can register there and then show up. It's absolutely worth it. Look, they're a really interesting company, as well as having a spectacular platform. So I highly recommend that you check them out. And again, you don't see tons of thought leadership, although we're going to see some today, when it comes to like the digital world of digital video. Not real thought leadership. You just see kind of, here's how we're using this platform to do this, as opposed to the thinking that goes on and the looking at the world and so on. This is actually a genuine thought leadership set of events, and appropriately go to the one that's appropriate to you. Enjoy. Tell them Paul Greenberg and Brent Leary sent you. The Playaz sent you.
And you get 50% off.
Yeah, that's right. You get 50% off and bagels from Best Bagel.
Yes, New York, San Francisco. What Cachette Shoreditch? I've never heard of that in London.
I know the Shoreditch area. I don't know what Cachette is. I guess they're actually having it at a radio station.
Yeah, it looks like in San Francisco, KQED.
KQED. That's actually, is that one of the big three networks? So they're having it at a TV studio, I guess.
So does that mean they're going to stream this thing?
I don't know. They didn't tell me that one way or the other.
I hope they're streaming, because we kind of hard on folks who don't stream their events. But
that's right. We'll nail them.
We wouldn't want to be hard on a partner, though.
No, they're our buds.
Especially when they're helping us get things set up the right way.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
So, yeah, that's cool. I'm hoping because I would love to check out some of that if at all possible, if it's being streamed.
Well, if we're not there, and I may be up in New York around that time just for personal visits. So if I am, I'll go over there. But if we're not there, and even if I'm over there and you're not, and they are streaming, we can always do a watch party.
And we're gonna have to have a chat with Ruthie because Atlanta is a really nice place to do events. She should know that by now. I'm just saying.
Yeah. You know what? I'll even say that, even though I'm not in Atlanta, as long as it's not the winter.
Oh well,
March, great time to be in Atlanta at an event.
When those snowstorms come blowing in, right?
Not then.
All right, one last thing, I think, because I am going to see our friend Susie Penner in Seattle for User Testing's Crafted. They always come up. They have some interesting names they have for their conference. Remember, what was that first one called? It was That or This or something like that.
Yeah,
the something.
I don't remember, but it was cool.
It was the something summit, which was this.
That's right.
This, not that. It was this.
Yeah, it was this. This is right.
Human Insight Summit. The Human Insight Summit.
This. So what is crafted?
I don't know, but I feel like I want a beer.
I would. You know what? I think I would have used a slightly different font on the top because it looks like grafted.
Grifted.
That would be the world's worst name for a summit. Would be grifted. Come on over and be cheated out of everything.
But no, Susie. We know it's crafted.
We do. Come on over and be cheated out of everything, but not at the summit. About 6 months later down the road, it's the long con.
So I'm making the pilgrimage
conference. It's the long con.
Yeah, I'm making the pilgrimage cross country to Seattle, where the dreaded sea hags are.
I tell you, man, I do not miss traveling. I do not miss traveling at all. I'm looking at all these conferences. You know, I got a message from Erwin Lazar at Adobe AI Summit this week, and he said, "You're missed here." And I miss the people, I do, but I was thinking, well, yeah, but I don't miss it.
Yeah, I don't know if they missed us after that opening keynote watch party. That was
no.
I mean, we have to keep it real. And
no, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Adobe Summit; it was Oracle Summit.
Yeah, they're doing their media event.
That's what it was.
And I couldn't go because I had to go to see my nephew graduate, or else I would be there. Yeah,
it was Oracle.
Yeah, I definitely would be there for that. But
see, I wouldn't anyway. But even though in the past I would have, but
right.
I just don't. I don't miss traveling. I just don't. That part of retirement just is working right for me.
You know what? So far, and I just really started getting on the road this year because I was staying put because of all the stuff going on with the house. So far, I've done 2 trips, and they've gone swimmingly well. I mean, early landings for both. Well, actually, all 4 legs of my flight. Now, I don't expect that to keep up. Matter of fact, going to Vegas for a service, I know that's going to screw it up.
And then June 7th through 9th again, it's going to be Vegas.
Yep, and then going to Chicago. Who knows what you face when you go to Chicago?
Are you going to Connected?
I'm going Connect.
Salesforce
Connections.
Yeah, Connection.
Yeah,
Salesforce. Yeah, I got an invite, but I no.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going. It's like the annual trip to Chicago, but it's June in Chicago. That's like the perfect time to go to Chicago. Not any earlier. Don't want to be.
No. Well, May is good. May is good in Chicago.
I like June. I need a buffer between April, and May. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing a few good minutes with Colin Fleming. But we have to keep it real. We are the expectation, just as we said for Adobe's opening keynote, the stakes are extremely high for ServiceNow. They have to do better than what Adobe did in their opening keynote.
Well, I mean, the thing with them is they're entering a territory which is not that familiar to them. And Bob Stutz referenced it probably a little less positively than I would, but last week. But they are entering the world of CRM, and it's not the same world as customer service ops or even CRC that in conjunction with CX. It's not even that same as that world, and they're missing significant pieces on the one hand. Plus, the AI game is the AI game, and you have to just stay up with it. I mean, they were, to me, for a long time, the world's largest unicorn. That's what I call them for a long time. They're no longer at that level because they're no longer they're big. They're a enterprise scale, big, mature, money making company, right? So it's not a unicorn kind of thing anyway. They're not out of the blue. They're expected to be let's say a Salesforce like or a Oracle, not necessarily that size, but Oracle like, Salesforce like, SAP like company. They're playing in that league, and they have to stay in that league. They don't have the unicorn independence that they used to have.
Well, and they've been talking really since our buddy Colin did get there. The messaging is definitely shifted to, hey, we are a CRM company.
Yeah.
And they need to address certain things that most CRM companies, especially on the level that they're operating, they have. Like marketing automation is a key component of CRM, and right now that's a big gap they have to fill.
Yeah, and well, also, and their sales product is young and not mature yet either, and unfortunately, it's a race. So there's a lot of very mature SFA applications out there, and there's a lot that are enterprise ready. So they chose a hard road. It's not one that they necessarily won't succeed at. No one in the beginning expected them to go from ITSM to CSM either, right? But they did, and CSM. Colin promised he changed the name from customer workflows, but I haven't seen the name change yet. Bring it up when you talk to him, saying, "What are you changing it to?"
Yeah,
I'm waiting on that one, man, because it's the terrible name, right? But they actually, now their biggest piece of revenue is that, right? Which is a really important shift. But now they're going even bigger. So I've got to see.
Well, and the other thing is there is definitely revenue to be had in the CRM market.
Oh, yeah.
And even as big as Salesforce is, traditionally they've topped out around 20% of the overall. Yeah. So that's a big chunk that is out there, and is it still the biggest category for enterprise SaaS spend?
Yeah, it depends on how people in time. It'll depend on how people classify AI, but yes,
it should do just like social CRM did. The social went away, and went into CRM like it should. Exactly. AI should do the same for every category of software, because every category of software is going to have it. So there's no point in pointing it out. No. Eventually, it won't be something separate.
They won't need to change the name of their company to ServiceNow.ai.
One more congratulations.
Oh, yes. I know where you're going.
When you said the .ai,
I knew where you went right away.
Shout out to 3 of our buddies, Larry Augustine, Sugar Clint Orm. I don't care if he's not with Sugar anymore. He's always and forever. Sugar CRM, no, Sugar Clint, Sugar Clint Orm, and Zach Sprackett. Did I get his last name right? Because I want to say Sprocket, like
no. Yeah, Sprocket Space. Zach Spacely.
We need to shout those 3 out. We met them all. Well, of course, Clint was the co-founder, and then Larry was the longtime CEO
and investor prior to that.
And Zach was there for at least 4 or 5, maybe even longer years than that.
I think longer than that. Yeah.
So we got a chance to really know them pretty well. And they have all left Sugar and just couple of days ago, I think, even maybe it was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
They came out of stealth mode to announce their new venture, and all three of them are a part of that. So
it looks interesting, and we're not going to talk about it now because we're trying to get them on the show.
Right.
And when they come on the show, they will. I can't. If they don't, I'm going to be so upset. Right. And they're our friends too. Right. So they definitely have to come. And
if they big time is, I'm going to be mad.
Ooh, wow.
I will be mad.
You hardly ever get mad too.
I really don't.
No.
But you know, I don't like the big time stuff. I don't like to be big time by Frank.
Yeah, never.
So we'll see.
I can't imagine any of them ever doing that though.
I can't either.
They're such good people.
They're great. Larry has been at the first two IRLs. Clint was at the very first one, couldn't make it to this one.
And now, of course, Zach will be in the invite list for 2027.
Once we get his email address.
Yeah, we don't have his actual non-sugar.
He has kept it from us. Anyway, so congrats to those three. And we can't wait to learn more about what they are up to. It's going to be great. That's all I can think of. All right. Before we bring our guest on, who I do see in the green room, I did want to do a special, although we still haven't updated the actual stuff yet. But
you haven't?
No, not yet. Okay. But I want to do this one because I think this is a pretty interesting number. It's Stump the Godfather time. And we got it brought to you by, we're still working on some things, but it's brought to you by our friends at Kaltura. They are the new name sponsor. We are really glad to have them, and we will get all the accoutrement for being a sponsor. Did I even say that right?
Christopher, you're the judge on it. Did Brent say that right?
And before we get into a quick shout out, Christopher says thought leadership has been replaced by co-opting the language the engineers use to drown them out of the conversation. So we can talk about how well a product sells instead of how well it does or does well. You know, I feel I get a bit of skepticism.
Well, he's a hard this guy's a hard ass, basically, right?
Is that his new nickname?
Yeah, no, not yet. I don't know him well enough. Right. So, but Christopher, the answer is yes and no to that one. It's not all thought leadership is not like that. Let's say there's a strain in there that you're right about, but it's not broad brush on this one. Yeah. There's actual legitimate thought leadership out there that actually does provide, frameworks and knowledge and capabilities that people and ideas that people otherwise just would not have seen if it hadn't been brought to them. And that's been there. Yep. So it's been there forever, and just various people have various ways of presenting it. There is the strain you're talking about too. Okay. All right. Thank you. He is our judge and jury from here on for anything regarding the English. Well, multilingual, really.
I'm just glad you left out executioner at the end of that, because I don't want any of that stuff going around. All right, let's move on because we got to go. But we got to do a special Stump the Godfather. All right. Oh, shoot.
Yep, it was in there. I saw it. Oh, well. Well, just present it. It's good. It's an interesting thing anyway.
No, that's
I know it's too late though.
No, it isn't, because there's another number I can use. All right. I'm going to go back to the original question.
All right.
So this was the original question. All right. And this is because yesterday, Amazon came out with their quarterly earnings, blew them out the water. There are a number. Google even blew it out even more, I think.
Did they have a reason why Amazon blew it out the water?
Yeah, but you got to listen to the whole thing.
Well, did you listen to it?
No, I just did the key points. Give me the takeaway.
Right.
But anyway, I did look through some of the stuff, and one of the things that stood out to me was they are expecting to, or I guess it's an invest, $200 billion 2026 alone in CapEx. $200 billion. So my question was going to be, when you add up these big guys, the scalers, hyperscaler kind of folks, Alphabet, Amazon, Apple isn't really one, but I wanted to throw them in there for a reason. Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and Oracle. When you combine their 2026 expected capex, Shashi is guessing, and I haven't even he must not have saw the little good. So Shashi, you're actually kind of close. But since I kind of already blew it because you saw it, right?
Yeah.
What was the number?
I don't know. I did see it though. I know what I think I saw.
What do you think you saw?
I saw something like it looked like 620 or something. It was fast.
All right. Oh, all right, cool. All right. Maybe I got it off the screen before too many people saw it.
Well, my eyes aren't that good, but I did see a number.
Because Shashi said 650 and Christopher says 725 and
final answer. Wow, we're doing Jeopardy.
We've been doing all sorts of Jeopardy around here lately. Anyway, so since both of them are wrong, maybe they didn't see it. Let me ask our guests in the green room, did you see it? And if you put a guess in the private chat, and let me see because maybe I can salvage this one if none of these guys saw it right. Let's see if he has anything to put into the chat. And then if he doesn't get it right, then I'm going to ask you. Oh, he did not see it. I was quick. I was very quick. His guess is 800 billion. So let me see. We've got 650 billion. We got 725 billion, and we got 800 billion. None of them saw it. This is great. Oof, I feel good. All right. So the Venerable Paul Greenberg, what is your answer?
Well, you did say something that sort of gives you at least a range.
Okay.
You know that, right? You said, Shashi, you were close.
All right, so that's a hint.
Well, I'll guess the 680.
Okay. So we have 650, we have 680, we have 725, and we have 800 from our guest in the green room. The actual answer is, and I think our guest in the green room was really close, 778 billion. Woo. Very close. Very close. It's interesting. You're wrong, but you're right.
Exactly.
You're wrong. And our guest in a green room makes it a completely weird situation. All right. So since I didn't have to it didn't blow it. This is great, actually. So good that
so who was number one of the whole group?
So let me show you, because I had Jim and I make up a slide for this.
Oh, how kind.
So if you look at and Shashi said he did the calculate. I got this from Jim and I, Shashi, and I think they had some pretty up-to-date numbers. Amazon is in Microsoft, Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet, damn near 200 billion a piece for each of them.
That is astounding.
Meta, 135 billion, and because they mentioned they're upping their capex, their stock got killed after hours. It is now still getting killed right now because people are like, when are they going to be done investing in this stuff? And when you see the number there, and it might even go up, who knows? Oracle at 45 billion, that's like, and Apple's like chump change. Like,
well, the Apple one's funny only because other than Oracle, which really doesn't have any sort of AI-ish primary focus, Apple actually does, and it's the lowest because Apple Intelligence is so awful, right? That I'm saying you can actually interpret it. Well, Apple Intelligence is that bad.
No, they're spending all of that on Siri.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. It's like, oh my God.
778 billion just for those 6 companies.
Yep.
That's an astounding number.
Well, actually, if you cut Oracle and Apple out, it's even more astounding that those 5 are.
They average about 150 between the 4.
So low. Knockout 63, 778. So 715 billion is those 5 companies.
Yeah, and that's just a handful of companies. Just imagine what the overall capex for AI investment is.
I can't even. Well, what about the capex for the direct AI companies?
We didn't even put in the mostly enterprise application software like Salesforce, ServiceNow, all those kind of companies, because they're not spending at that level, but they're spending, I'm guessing, tens of billions still. yearly on this.
Oh God, yeah.
So 778 billion just for 6 companies. Wow. That's amazing to me.
Yes, it is.
Did you like that one? Did you like that Stump the Godfather?
I kind of did.
Wow, I got you on record.
Yeah, you do. I like the. I actually like the drawing too.
You did, yeah. Gemini's doing some pretty nice stuff with their. Seems like they're updating this stuff weekly. And
well, I noticed. I don't know if you caught it, but In the Hot Seat announced their new format.
Yeah,
and they obviously use an AI generated drawing there. But I was wondering which platform they used.
I don't know.
I was guessing. I was sort of thinking Gemini because kind of got that. Gemini, from everything I keep seeing, it favors the dark background if you don't tell it not to.
Yeah, I told it. I didn't tell it to. Then I asked it, could you make it a lighter background, please?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It tends to favor dark as the way to go. I lighter, better on the eyes. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that there was a similar profile to Gemini drawing in the ITHS side.
Christopher says, I want to know what SAP is going to spend to make up. They're not going to spend anywhere near that amount, but they're going to spend, I would say, a significant amment, right?
Well, he's actually making the other point in there, which is that
locking everyone else's API.
That's the real point. Boy, Christopher, you are something, man. You are barbed.
I think you should
you literally are sitting there with knives out.
I think his nickname should be HA.
HA.
Think about it. What did you call him before?
Barbed.
No, what did you mentioned he was a hard.
Oh yeah, HA. Okay.
All right. Well, not to say this this is a perfect segue because I don't think our next guest is a hard ass.
No, he's a sweetheart, in fact.
So let me turn things over to the venerable one, the one and only Paul Greenberg, to introduce. This ought to be interesting to introduce today's guest.
So he's been on the show once before, but I will reiterate something. So back when COVID hit, I made a big point. I guess I was, looking around for something to do. I made a point of reaching out to all the other Paul Greenbergs who I kept seeing in searches when I would put my name in, or somebody would put my name in, or I would get a notification. I'd see all these other Paul Greenbergs in searches, and there were all kind of these prominent people doing these prominent things. So I decided to reach out to a bunch of them to talk to them. And I met this guy, and I'm pretty sure you can guess his name now, who, when I was looking at his sort of background and, his history, it was a lot of like network television and production and video production. And then what was fascinating to me, though, was as his career advanced, and you could see he made a decision at some point to get out of the network TV universe. He moved into a world of like digital video, but in a very, not like, okay, now I'm going to do digital video the way network TV does network TV, but much more visionary, and very advanced too. Even pre-AI, he had, pre-AI being big, I should say, big thing, because AI has been around. He actually developed some algorithms that actually was reading and gaining insight from video actions that you could see within a video, and identifying behaviors, identifying impact, identifying reach, all within the video based on cues that his algorithms would pick up. It was amazing stuff. So I reached out, and here's the deal. It turned out to be a great guy. And now, one of the reasons we're bringing him on, and as soon as I'm finished with this, we're bringing him on, is the other day I'm reading through this piece by Paul Greenberg saying, he's talking about Salesforce and Agentforce, and I'm thinking, I don't remember writing that.
I was thinking, did AI take over you? And
am I hallucinating or what? Right? And so turned out he did. And I'm thinking, I'm glad I retired, man, because I'd be out of a job in a week and nobody would know because he's still the same name would be there. Right. So he wrote this really fascinating piece on Salesforce, which we want to talk to him about today, but we also, of course, want to talk about some other things, given who he is and what he's doing. He's now the Well, let's bring him on. Paul Greenberg. I will let him tell you more about what he's doing now. There's the man.
Hey guys, thank you for having me on again. I really appreciate it, and thank you for all the kind words. The feeling is mutual.
You're really astonishing, and I will tell you that that post was really good. Let's even start there.
Can I start something first?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I always feel outnumbered when he comes on. I don't know why. And now he's writing about Salesforce and agents.
That
and all
was
that.
amazing. That was so amazing. It was like, I didn't know you were thinking about that particularly. And then there it is. And it's this very cogent piece. Can you go through your thinking on Salesforce, Agentforce, and where it's going? Because that's what this piece was all about. And I think you were right on the money too.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I write about AI more generally. It's not always about CRM stuff, obviously. And I could never hold a candle to your guys' knowledge of all of that. But I did see something interesting where Salesforce, I know, Shashi, right? It's amazing. But I did see something really interesting where at their conference, Salesforce announced something called Headless 360. And so everybody, I assume, knows what a headless interface is. But just to put a finer point on it, essentially, it's an interface that computers use to talk to each other without a user interface, without a UI. So there's no website to go to, there's no dashboard to see or anything like that. It's just the data passing back and forth between computer systems. And Salesforce, of course, since their inception 27 years ago, has always been about, not always, but been about their UI. That's how you access all the data, right? You have to log into their system and you have to see it. They've now changed for the AI age in a brilliant way, where they've got you can now connect to all of your Salesforce data using an API, an MCP, Model Context Protocol Server, or a CLI, a command line interface. So which would be on a Mac, that would be Terminal, or on Windows, that would be PowerShell, but just something like that. And so you don't need to log into a user interface at all. And so you can have, all of your data, all of your information accessible, but without having to use their system or their control or their dashboard. And so what this means is that Salesforce really understood that the value their customers have for their product isn't their own dashboard and UI. It's the data that their users have collected, plus their users' knowledge and experience and expertise. And so that sort of is interesting. When you talk about reinventing yourself for the AI age, it's stepping back and saying, what is the real kernel of our business? What do we actually do? Where is our value per se, as opposed to what do we think our value is to customers? And also, you guys know this better than anybody, but they're really good at talking to their customers. And apparently I read that they have, 18,000 different customers that they talk to on some sort of regular basis to get feedback. But they understood that this is not, that their value really comes in all the data and the systems underneath the UI. And so I think that's what a lot of companies have to start grappling with. And in the agentic age, what do you really stand for, and what value do you provide your users?
So how does that, so here's one of the things though, and this kind of goes to a different facet of the feedback side you're talking about. One of the things that big companies like Salesforce and others have is both a benefit and a crutch, is they're known for something, right? In other words, this is what we do. Then they have a pivot, and they pivot to, now this is what we say we do, right? And it doesn't mean they weren't doing that, but they're focused in on whatever this new thing is. How do customers freak out when you're familiar is not familiar anymore? It's not going to be like, one of the famous examples that I've always given was SAP and SuccessFactors. And the CEO of SuccessFactors said at his first speech after SAP acquired SuccessFactors that the cloud is the only place you're going to be. It's the only place to be. And he literally told 30,000 on-premise customers that. And SAP, they freaked out. SAP is not going to support us anymore. They lost the narrative thread of the company. right? How does Salesforce handle that? Because, headless is also kind of, it's literally, and it's also to some degree in terms of way people think about it, it's invisible, right? And it's hard for them to grasp how that works. I mean, there's a broad way, it's easy, but in specific, how do they see a benefit for them? How are they going to keep the narrative going so the Salesforce doesn't look like it just dropped everything they used to do and I'm starting up this?
But that's a great point. And I think the way they did it is they didn't drop everything they used to do. The UI is still available. And so if you want to kind of use the original flavor, as it were, and you want to use, you want to use old Coke and not new Coke, you're still welcome to do that. But I think that, again, for people who want to push the envelope, who are tech savvy, who want to be able to manipulate their data in new and different ways that even Salesforce hasn't thought of, it just gives them options and it gives them optionality. And I feel like that's, really smart thinking by Benioff and his team to be able to come up with, different ways for people to use their product. And I mean, the lead of my post was Salesforce is cannibalizing themselves before somebody else does. And I think, somebody could come along and say, okay, you know what? You don't really need the Salesforce UI anymore. We're going to figure out how to port your data over, and we're just going to do it, and you're going to be able to do it in Claude and Cursor or however you want to see your data. You can build your own dashboards and your own visualizations. But Salesforce got out ahead of that and said, no, we're going to let you do that right now with that data. But they're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. They're not getting rid of the old one. So I feel like it's an easy transition to experiment with the new stuff, but really puts them squarely in the future, where a lot of companies lag behind. And also, I mean, for a company that massive to be able to make this switch or to be able to offer this option is super impressive.
Yeah, I think one of the things that the key points to why I think this is a pretty significant move here is, of all things, I don't necessarily like it that much, but because I don't like the interface, quite honestly. I think Paul knows where I'm going.
Yeah.
The Venerable Paul Greenberg. I guess I got to clarify this thing today. It's Slack. Slack is, I mean, what they spent $26 billion on it, and people have been wondering, what? That's a lot of money. Are they ever going to get their money out of it? I think this is one of the ways that they do, because there's a lot of data, rich data. It's not system of record stuff, but think of all the conversations on team for different teams and individuals working on projects, the strategy that they discuss, all the things that they talk about in terms of their business, and all the verticals that those discussions have. That creates a lot of great information that could be used across the board, and not having to try to use it with that. I'm sorry, I just don't like the interface. But now you're allowing that data to be unleashed and used across different formats and interfaces. I think this is what a huge benefit, a huge positive that goes into like a Salesforce marker when it comes to how do you defend yourself against all this SaaS apocalypse stuff, because you got a system of record, and now you have all these rich conversations flowing through Slack that fill it out and create, what was that term, a system of context, where you get all this, now you get this rich metadata coming through Slack, you got the system of record data, and now you can enrich it and have even more opportunity to build context around all the stuff that AI is doing. So I tend to think this is a big deal, potentially a big deal for Salesforce.
I agree with you. And I think that the Slack point is a great one where, there is so much information that's unstructured, and to be able to not to get too nerdy, but to be able to vectorize that and to turn it into something that a queryable type, database that's easy for natural language to work with. And then combine that with the rest of your Salesforce data is massive. and it's really a huge step forward for a lot of different people. They do have Agent Force, obviously, so you can use natural language to query, but you have to use their system to do that. So if you build your own MCP or you connect through Cursor through an MCP server to your Salesforce data, you set the parameters yourself, and that's really giving an amazing amount of control to their customers.
So let's go take this, because we don't have we God, I can't believe how fast these days go.
I tell you, you Paul Greenberg, you all talk a lot.
Yeah, we do.
All right.
We do. That's people, New York Jews. That's who talks a lot, right? All of us, regardless of name. So let's go to a different place, because one of the things I know you're doing with your company now, and you've specialized in a lot longer than the visibility of AI itself, was digital video and AI, right? You've been doing AI long before AI became, the hit of the thing of the day. So, can you talk about where you see that specific area, digital video? Because we're dealing, like, for example, when I deal with, let's say, Claude on something, and I'm dealing with even screenshots or video pieces, and I'm dealing with a frigate or something for cameras and things like that, the cost of that is enormous. I mean, I ran $100 in 2 days at one point. And Claude gave me bad advice. But I've reduced the cost, and I'm running it all locally now, so it doesn't cost me anything. But also, when you're dealing, so let's take digital video, AI, either Gen AI or agentic AI, or AI, or the algorithms that you've worked with over the years. How do you handle not only the actual AI itself, but the cost of that? Because it is expensive, and it's actually cripplingly expensive.
I think you're right. I think there needs to be a reckoning on the cost side, and most of these AI companies, Claude included, are pricing on a flat fee per month, but that subscription pricing isn't working, as you've seen with Claude, where people are getting throttled. People are being told, no, you need to wait till the end of the day to come back because your usage is too high. But they're all hemorrhaging money. I mean, you saw the CapEx numbers, and so they're spending an enormous amount. It's a tricky problem in terms of that cost, because video is also so much richer as a medium that it takes up more and more pixels. It just it eats up a lot more tokens than text does, and so it is interesting. I think there's but there are a couple different ways that people are using AI video. One is, which the way I think you're describing, which is to sort of create new images or new videos and new types of content, where it's a snippet of a scene or something like that, and that can get really expensive. Although Hollywood is getting further and further into that. Doug Liman, the director, just announced that he had a film that was originally costing him $300 million, and he used AI and brought the cost down to $70 million. So in a way, the cost that you're investing in AI could be actually paying off in cost savings elsewhere. So, I think that it sort of depends on the kind of project that you're doing and what your expectations are. The other kind of video that we're working with is digital twins, right? So avatars. And that gets expensive quickly as well, because you're not only talking to, you don't only have the video aspect of the person, but you've got an LLM behind it, or maybe you also have 11 labs behind it, where you just got all these different systems working together to try to create a talking head or a talking person. And so most of that has been fairly experimental. We've done some interesting projects in the medical field using AI for digital twins of doctors as experiments, which has been kind of cool. But again, I think it's cost prohibitive unless you're using it wisely and you've got an idea of how much it's saving you somewhere else.
Quick question. What was the movie that had a $300 million budget?
I have to go look it. I can go look it up.
That is an astonishingly high number.
It is. It is. I can look at it right now if you want, but it's the director was Doug Liman, Liman, who's been around Hollywood forever and really knows his stuff. But apparently, it saved him 67% of his budget, and it's pretty astonishing. More than that, it's pretty astonishing.
So the company that we partner with that we mentioned earlier, Kaltura, they use avatars for the events they use. Oh, by the way, I was telling them about you this morning, and they was wondering if you have a chance, would you come to their May 12th New York event? They really would like to meet you. They're going to be in the city May 12th.
Let me see. Thank you. That could
Offline,
be
amazing. I'll talk to you, and then we can I can give you the details.
I would love to hear this because it would be Paul Greenberg introducing a company to Paul Greenberg, which kind of interesting.
No, they would take. I gave them a link to your stuff, and they were taken with what you've been doing. They really were.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, well, so they've used avatars. They actually had one of me, for example, which is the final product was not bad. The original product, I'm 76, and it looked like I was sort of getting into dementia. It didn't really work very well. But the final version was actually quite good. But it occurred to me after the fact that had to have a cost somewhere because it was being run, right? So, and I'm wondering who ate the cost. I mean, they must have, because we got the whole platform for free. But if they're running avatars as a regular part of all the events they do, and they they literally are responsible for like NVIDIA GTC and AWS reInvent. And then, in fact, they are the platform for AWS, the whole thing, right? There's a cost on all those. There's a lot of avatars going on there. And I really was striking to me how much is going into just doing these things too, because of the level. So when you're designing an avatar, let's say of some kind, a digital twin of some kind, and you're designing, say, Brent Leary. I just don't want to say Paul Greenberg. We have enough of us already. Right. So you're designing a Brent Leary, which, by the way, Kaltura is. I found out. Sorry, Brent. I hate to reveal it on the show, but they are. But when you're designing that digital twin, and you're designing obviously personality and look and feel, all that stuff, are you building it for also like for efficiency in any way? Meaning you're building in the idea that, okay, every time this thing moves, it's going to cost this much and this much, or it's going to take up this amount of resources, or it's going to be broadcast and it's going to eat up this amount of bandwidth, things like that. How do you account for all that?
We try to be mindful. It's very hard. We try to be mindful, but if you got to do it, you want to spend the money and you want to make sure that it looks as good as possible because, as you mentioned, it can still look a little uncanny valley if it's not done properly. And so it's hard. We're getting there, but the cost thing is sort of a AI writ large. The whole industry is grappling with this. Again, Brent, your slide was pretty telling. And so the question is, how is anybody going to be able to figure out what this, what this, how we're going to handle the cost side of the business? That's a big one.
All right. One final question before we wrap. Okay. You're a thought leader in this space. You're seen, you're a well-known figure with a fantastic name. Where do you see all this? Like, what's your vision of the future of all this? Where's it going? What's next?
What's next? I think, more and more realistic AI, more abilities for people who don't have coding experience and technical knowledge to be able to do more and more. which means that the human element is going to be more important than ever. And, human creativity, the human soul, humans being able to understand how to talk to each other and how to present creativity is going to be really, really important.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
This hour went quick. I have to say, it was a really interesting conversation.
Lightning.
Usually, conversation with Paul Greenberg don't go as quick as that. But
you double up on us, it goes faster.
All right, I think that get old Bob Fagelin. It's like he is your twins.
What? Is he talking about like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito?
I guess so. I don't know who's who on this one, but just leave it at that.
Make any sense at all. Thank you, Bob.
Well, that's Bob for you, Fagel for you. All right. I don't think I've ever said this before. On behalf of Paul Greenberg, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
Yeah, I didn't think I did it last time. And we are the CRM Playaz. And as far as I know, this is the only mini around. So we'll just say hi and bye to mini. And we will see you Tuesday for the ServiceNow opening keynote. See you then.